Okay, I watched Daredevil Born Again episode 1. I enjoyed this episode. I'm not going to make any bold claims. I'm not going to tell you Marvel's going to be back. I think that would be disingenuous. There's no way for me to know where this is going to lead or if they're going to do good or not. But if you ask me what this episode ranks, now I didn't watch the second episode yet. I purposely held off. I was like, I'm not going to binge watch both episodes. I will hold off. I will watch episode 1 and I will give myself the opportunity to like soak that episode in. I realize what I do. Sometimes I will, in the course of watching something new, like if multiple episodes drop, and I did this with Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I made certain judgments about the show without really marinating on the episodes enough. And then as I watched the episodes and gave the show more time to mature, I think I had a more balanced view of the show. And I want to do this same thing. And I want to employ this same strategy with Daredevil Born Again. So the lighting, the way everything was shown, it felt like a continuation of the Netflix series. There was like no break. So it opens up. There will be spoilers. I won't go over everything that happened, but there will be spoilers for episode 1 in this review, just so you know. So it starts out with Foggy, Matt, and Karen walking out of a deli. I don't know why I couldn't remember their names. Anyway, so they're walking out of this deli and they're having a conversation. Matt says to Foggy, hey, you know, this so-and-so deli, yeah, it closed. And he's like, oh man, that's messed up. You know, it's like a old times, the band is back together and we're discussing the things that we love. It was like that kind of vibe. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this already. The city was dark. You kind of felt the presence of the city. And it's funny, right? If you're from New York, native New Yorker, y'all know I bring that up all the time. You like the way they captured the feel of the city. It's hard to explain if you didn't grow up in New York. And I'm pretty sure wherever you grew up is probably the same way. If you see a show or a movie or something that covers that place and it captures like the feeling, you know, oh yeah, this feels authentic. And it feels authentic to New York City. So anyway, they're going to this what seems like a retirement ceremony at Josie's bar. And there's a bunch of cops in there, and you see Foggy is talking to this woman. Man, for the life of me, I can't remember her name in the show. And you see Karen and Matt sitting at a table. You know, they're talking and they're having, you know, some banter back and forth. Foggy gets a call. And I always have appreciated this, the way they show Matt Murdock's heightened senses in the show. It's done really well. I like it. And they kept that same feel in this show. The good thing, here's a really good thing about this show. They did not depart from that original Netflix series. It felt like a continuation, like there was no break. At no point did I think to myself, yeah, this is Disney's version of Daredevil. No, this just felt like a good Daredevil show. And I was very impressed. I know I'd heard that there were issues early on. Thankfully, it seems like they settled all of that, got all of that taken care of, and this show was actually done well. So Foggy takes this phone call, goes out. There's somebody that he's trying to protect. He's holding this person at his house, but somebody's breaking in. So Foggy's on the phone. You see Matt kind of, his ears perk up. He's listening to what Foggy's saying. So him and Karen go out there and he's like, all right, I'll go find this. I'll go, go to your place, do his thing and make sure everything's all right. This is where, now I don't know if there were leaks about this happening. If there wasn't, the fact that they managed to keep this from leaking is incredible. Somebody let me know in the comments if there was a leak about this specific thing happening. And you're going to say, I'm going to get to it. So pretty much you figure out that Matt was purposely led away from the scene, or that's the impression I get. Right as Matt left and went on his way, Foggy gets shot in the heart. Karen is standing right there. She goes over him. She's holding it, and she's holding her hand over his heart. She's trying to stop the bleeding. And it is just like everything that's going on is so crazy. Of course, Matt turns back around, realizing what happened to Foggy, and he is incensed. And you find out that is Bullseye that shot him. Now, I believe somebody say something in the comments. I believe that first Deadpool, or not Deadpool, I got Deadpool on the brain. That first Daredevil movie, that Ben Affleck movie, wasn't Bullseye one of the villains in that movie? I'm almost positive it was. I'm almost positive it was Bullseye, but I haven't watched that in so long. I couldn't really tell you one way or another. So Matt, of course, breaks in. He's going after Bullseye. They're fighting. Bullseye's throwing blades at him. And, they're sticking to his costume. I'm sure some of them are making contact, but Matt is going crazy. And the whole time while he's doing this, he's hearing Karen, dealing with Foggy and what's going on with him. Bullseye is pretty much killing people to get people out the way. Matt is hunting him down. They get to a couple fighting scenes. The fighting scenes were a little slower than the first Daredevil, but my memory may not be serving me correctly on that one. But they were good. Even though they felt a little slower, they were definitely good. And to be honest with you, sometimes I think slower fight scenes in a movie actually are more accurate to reality. And for all intents and purposes, Daredevil is a very grounded to reality, obviously, outside of his enhanced abilities, but typically a very grounded to reality kind of hero. So I appreciated that, that whole angle. So you see him, they're fighting. He gets up to the roof. He gets Bullseye, and he hears what's going on downstairs. And he pretty much hears that Foggy's gone. Matt throws Bullseye. I keep wanting to say Daredevil. Throws Bullseye off the roof. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. But he just lost his best friend. Like, this is the fact that they killed Foggy off first episode, like midway through the episode. Or I guess really you wouldn't even say midway. Beginning of the episode, Foggy gone. I was like, oh my goodness. They are starting this thing off getting right to you. They are wasting absolutely positively no time whatsoever. So I was like, hey, you know what? I can't even be mad at this. This is actually done very well. I am shocked. Typically when characters that I really enjoy are killed off, I don't like it. But for some reason, like probably in any other circumstance, I probably wouldn't have liked it. But man, this added a certain edge to the show that I think was needed. And maybe that was something that the Disney showrunners figured out as well. Like, we need something to let the audience know we're serious. This is not going to be a joke. We're not going to Disney-fy Daredevil. No DD going on here. Daredevil is going to be exactly who you expect him to be. And I was like, yo, okay, they're coming with it right out the gate. So then you fast forward and you see Wilson Fisk's wife. I had to take some notes. What's her name? Vanessa. I don't know why I forgot her name. So she's having like a mob boss style business meeting. She's been running things. Wilson Fisk has been away due to some unfortunate circumstances. And right as she's talking to all of these different, crime families running the different boroughs or crime syndicates, she's pretty much keeping order. And the way she's keeping order, and she seems, the way they have progressed her character and built her character up to what she is now, is actually done very well. Because when Wilson Fisk first saw her in that art gallery, she seemed like a, really kind-hearted, dainty, even naive woman. And man, oh man, she is hardened at this point. She is nothing to be trifled with. That's the impression you get. But how she is ruling these different crime syndicates is she's making sure everybody is making money. And you find this out in a conversation she has with Kingpin, like, yo, she's not ruling with an iron fist. She understands that if everybody's making money, then everything's good. Everything's gravy and people are okay. People like what they're doing. Everybody is, they don't have a problem with what's going on because they're making money. It's all good. As long as the money keeps flowing, everybody's happy. So elevator opens up. Kingpin walks in on this meeting, and you see it looks like everybody there is absolutely shook. You can see the terrified looks on their faces. They don't know what's going on, but they kind of all get up and one by one walk away. He has a conversation with Vanessa. He's pretty much asking her, some questions, and she's like, look, all the money is sewed up. Everything is right. It's all legit. Nothing traces back to crime. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. And so he announces his run for mayor. Of course, when Matt finds this out, he doesn't believe what's going on. Oh, yeah, on the roof. I forgot, on the roof, when Matt threw Bullseye off the roof, a police officer, the one who was retiring, he came up there. Matt had his mask off, and he's like, Matt? And so, you had that happen. I kind of blipped over that, forgot about that. So anyway, so Matt eventually at some point, this is after the sentencing of Bullseye. They sentence him to life in prison for, I think it was like 8 consecutive life terms for like 8 murders he committed that day or something like that. Don't remember those exact details. Karen is there. Apparently Karen has moved to California. She had a hard time coping with what was going on. Of course, Matt, after Foggy died, he shut down. They didn't talk. So she went her way. He's trying to rebuild a bond. He's trying to talk to her, and she's not having none of it. She's being kind, but she's like, nah, I'm going to go. You're good. I'm good. I'm going to go my own way. And you can tell he's really alone. But then that's when he finds out, somewhere along that lines, I'm trying to remember, because I took a little bit of notes when I was watching the show. I was more trying to enjoy the show more than watch it just for a review. But after I watched it, I was like, oh, they really did a number on this one. I was skeptical because I heard a lot of early reviews, and some of them were really good, and some of them were like, we don't know. I will say, I don't know why some of the early reviews were iffy, because nothing about this first episode said iffy, in my opinion. Everything about this was exactly what you wanted from a continuation of Daredevil. It was peak Daredevil at its best. He finds out Wilson Fisk is running for mayor. Him and Wilson Fisk meet up, and I think you've seen this in the previews. They have their discussion, pretty much not even low-key threatening each other. He's pretty much telling Wilson Fisk, I'm keeping my eye on you. You do anything untoward, I'm coming down on you. And Wilson Fisk is like, yo, this vigilante thing, not going to work if I'm mayor. If you put that thing back on, I'm coming for you. So it's like a mutual disrespect, I guess, if you want to say it that way. And I liked it. It's that classic of a hero and his arch nemesis, the villain, but there's also a mutual respect. Like, even though they're at odds, you can tell there's like a mutual respect in a weird way. And I like that interaction. Of course, Wilson Fisk wins. He becomes the mayor. There's a lot that happened in between. I'm obviously skipping over some things, but all in all, I will say that Daredevil Born Again episode 1 delivers and did everything that Marvel needed it to do, in my opinion.